Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2C TV, your global news channel. I'm Maya 2C and we come to you guys with some breaking news coming from Yemen. Yes, the Houthis have now informed the United States of America that they have surrendered. For now at least, this is following the massive attack by the Israelis on to the Houthi bases and even the main airport in Sana'a, in the capital of Yemen. We're going to give you guys all the updates first. Everything's been going on over the last few hours, keep you up to date. Then we're going to get to the end, because between the start and now, when they basically surrendered, finally, there was a bit of a pushback from the Houthis. Their leadership themselves, and they've been sending out their minions on the streets of Yemen. They have done a couple of publicity stunts until basically they realize they can't really continue to fight. They can't fight against the Americans and the Israelis at the same time because they're not getting enough support from the Islamic Republic of Iran. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this live, let me know what you think in the live chat, of course, in the comment section later on as well. Let me show you some of the videos that we have so far. This was the beginning of the strikes by the Israeli Air Force on to the, around the capital of Yemen, Sana'a first, and then they hit the airport and everything else. Let's go to the first. Now, let's not forget, one of the other groups that is going to be very happy about all this is the leadership of Saudi Arabia. And of course, with everything that's been going on between Saudi and the Islamic Republic of Iran, this essentially a bit of a nuisance. It's just going to go away for now. First things first, we are going with what the Houthis have announced and have told the White House in the United States. Now, they might think that they are being clever. They might have surrendered in a fake way and somehow plan some sort of surprise attack, but I'm not really sure. Even if they want to do that, they don't have the capability to take on the Israelis and the Americans at the same time. Whether they have surrendered to essentially send a wake-up call to the IRGC in Iran to say, look, you need to send us more support. We are surrendering. Look what's happening. It's embarrassing for all of us. Anyway, let's go to the next clip that we have for you guys. This is the Yemeni capital Sana'a, completely massively on fire. And this is the moment they realized the airstrikes by the US, which was a few weeks back, completely weakened the Houthis regime. But this one annihilated most of the bases and the infrastructure. Watch.
هذيك نار.
You F around and you will find out. And that's exactly what's happened with the Houthis in Yemen so far. Obviously, first there was Hezbollah of Lebanon that were annihilated. And right now, nobody takes Hezbollah seriously anymore. There's just a few of them just running around for absolutely no reason. Mostly because actually, with the benefit of the doubt, the Lebanese government relatively have done a good job relatively to keep them in check. Having said that, the Houthis in Yemen were just being a little bit annoying, and the Americans and the Israelis have done their job. So in less than 24 hours, Israel took out the Houthis' main cargo port, 2 cement factories, multiple power stations, and the entire international airport. The initial statement from the Israeli government, the Israeli official said, this is a few hours ago, this is only the beginning. They wiped out the whole thing. This is only the beginning. This is why the Houthis had to send a message to President Trump. Watch this video.
ضرب مصنع اسمنت عمران عيال الحرام ضربوا مصنع اسمنت عمران لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله الله يستر ويلطف.
Another boom boom in Yemen. Now, Talking about the Israelis, the IDF released a statement saying that for the second time in less than a day, the Air Force attacked terrorist targets of the Houthi regime in Yemen. The Air Force recently attacked and destroyed the organization's infrastructure at the central airport in the Sana'a area, leading to its complete shutdown following the Houthis' attacks on the Ben Gurion airport in Tel Aviv. The airport, similar to the port of Hodeidah, which was attacked last night, is used by the Houthis to transfer weapons and operatives and is regularly operated by the Houthi regime for terrorist purposes. This is another example of the organization's use of civilian infrastructure for terrorist operations. They also continued by saying that in addition, several central power stations in Sanaa's area were also attacked by the Israelis, which the Houthi regime exploits as a significant electricity supply infrastructure for their regime. Another example of the Houthis regime use of Yemeni people and their civilian infrastructure. They also said that the concrete factory of Al Imran, this is in the north of the city of Sana'a, was also attacked by the Israeli Air Force, an important resource for the Houthi regime, and it was used to build the organization's tunnels and military infrastructure. The attack on the factory constitutes a blow to the terrorist regime's economy and its military backup. They finished by saying that the attacks were carried out in a targeted manner, taking precautions to the extent possible to minimize harm to civilians and civilian property. And this is exactly what they did. The Israeli Defense Forces, once again, as usual, unlike other defense forces in the world, they sent out a warning to all the civilians: evacuate, we are coming, we're going to get the Houthis, we're going to get the infrastructure. And they did that. A lot of people left, and of course, the Houthis were annihilated. So, next update. This is it. It's one of the cement factories that we talked about. Amran, a cement factory that was hit by the Israeli fighter jets. Yesterday, they also hit another cement factory. These are all important factories, by the way, because they use all these for the materials that they needed to attack everybody else. Let's quickly go to that video.
شوف شو نطلع مخاطب شو يلا 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 فكني يا خالد دقيقة
Not a good couple of days for the Houthis. It's sort of their fault. If they hadn't fully targeted the airport in Tel Aviv, they might have had a better fighting chance, despite the fact that the Americans already massively weakened the Houthi regime in Yemen over the last few weeks. But they should have listened. If they were being used as pawns by the Islamic Republic, the only people that the Yemenis should blame for all this is the Islamic Republic of Iran. That's what they did in Yemen. They are the people responsible for this mess. Now, the Israeli Air Force also struck the passenger terminal, civilian aircraft and service facilities at the Sana'a International Airport in Yemen. We're going to show you this video as well. Obviously, they gave a heads up to all the civilians to evacuate way before, but they hit the main part of the airport. Precise, targeted attacks. The Houthis, a few days ago, when I was in Tel Aviv about to get my flight, and when they hit the airport, you know what they hit? They hit a patch of grass near the airport in Tel Aviv. Now, this is the difference between the power that the Houthis have compared to the Israeli Air Force. Let's quickly go to the video from the airport in Yemen. Right, so we're going to continue because then we have to get to the statement when they have given to the Americans surrendering. We no longer want to fight, according to the Houthis. So one thing to discuss is about the fact that over the last few hours, before the Houthis sent the message to President Trump's team that we no longer want to fight, let me show you how the Houthis were fighting back. I think it's important to show both sides, right? Now, Let me show you the Houthis in Yemen. What do you think they were saying? These guys, the Houthi officials, the senior officials, these are the officials, by the way, said to Al Arabiya, the news outlet, they warned the Israelis. They said, Israel has just crossed the red line and must await our response. I mean, do you think they're ready for a response? They're high. They're all high on drugs. They keep chewing the drugs. Like they keep... Nobody's taking you seriously. Stop trying to send warnings. But that wasn't enough. So they thought it's important to post on social media their exact response. We can officially confirm that the response from the Houthis against the Jews, the Israelis, they have posted this on social media. Do you know what they did? The official response from the Houthis to Israel. They literally posted, we are destroying your flag. They took this picture ages ago, by the way. They are reusing the same photo with the guns pointing at an Israeli flag. You're shouting at the flag. Okay, feel free to destroy a flag. I don't think anybody in Israel is scared. But so one flag has been destroyed, not good. I think the Israelis can move on from that. Then we had the power plant in Sana'a. This is the Daban power plant, very important for the Houthis. This was also massively hit by the Israeli Air Force. Let's quickly go to that video. Then we're going to show you what President Trump has actually said. I believe we've just received the video from the White House as well. This is the power plant. Yeah. So, by the way, the quote on the actual post of the flag, that wasn't what they posted. They actually put the caption on the main post because they were talking about escalation, leading to escalation, all the usual nonsense that they've been saying from a few weeks back. So, that was happening. Then we had the update that yet another power station was just hit by the Israelis. This is the Houthis power station. This is in the capital of Yemen, Sana'a. Let's talk about that. And then we're going to discuss what's actually been going on in terms of the response and when they told the Americans that apparently they no longer want to fight. Do we have the next video ready? Yeah, we do.
واشهد ان محمد رسول الله يا الله ان الموت حق والحياه باذن الله اشهد ان لا اله الا الله اشهد ان يا الله اشهد يا رجال يا الله اشهد ان لا الموت حق
منصور 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 باذن الله الله يحمي الله يستر الله يستر الله يستر الله يستر الله يستر يا الله هذا المحطة شكل محطة الكهرباء محطة الكهرباء اللي في قدر يا الله
They wanted destruction, they got their destruction. The only issue is they are the losers now in Yemen. Now, we also had a reaction from Israel Katz. On behalf of the Israeli government, he said what they did, they said, it is also a warning to the Iranian head of the octopus. You bear direct responsibility for any attack by the Houthi tentacle against the state of Israel, and you will also bear the full consequences. So this is the second time in a row we've had a direct, robust statement from both the Israeli government and the American government that the Islamic Republic of Iran will in fact face the consequences as the head of the octopus, essentially like Hydra. They are responsible, they have to respond. Now, we had this after the attack on the airport in Tel Aviv a few days ago. when this nutter from the Houthis, this is their spokesperson, said that the Yemeni air forces announced that they will work to impose a comprehensive air blockade on the Israeli enemy by repeatedly targeting airports, most notably Lod Airport, known in Israel as the Ben Gurion Airport, right? So basically it said, we hit the Israeli airport, we shut down the whole thing. They didn't. It was basically about 5-minute delay for a couple of flights. Now, the Yemeni side, unfortunately, had to post this statement. Due to the Israeli aggression that targeted Sanaa's international airport, Yemenia Airline announces the suspension of all flights to and from Sanaa's international airport until further notice. Yeah, because the whole airport was demolished. So, this is what happens. The Houthis hit a grass patch next to the airport in Tel Aviv. What do you think the Israeli Air Force are going to do? They're going to find a perfect way to hit the exact locations of your warehouses and the infrastructure that the Houthis were using in the airport. Now we can also, I believe we do have the video from the White House. Obviously, Clown Carney, the Canadian Prime Minister, is now visiting the White House. And in the middle of the press conference, President Trump announced that the White House has received a message from the Houthis that they no longer want to fight and it's it's time to surrender.
We had some very good news last night. The Houthis have announced that they are not, or they've announced to us at least, that they don't want to fight anymore. They just don't want to fight, and we will honor that, and we will stop the bombings, and they have capitulated, but more importantly, we will take their word. They say they will not be blowing up ships anymore, and that's what the purpose of what we were doing. So that's just news. We just found out about that. So I think that's very, very positive. They were knocking out a lot of ships going, as you know, sailing beautifully down the various seas. It wasn't.
One thing to remind people is that first things first, Mark Carney was out of his depth. He was just like, what do I have to say something about this? Secondly, while the Houthi leadership sent a message to the White House, the rest of the Houthis are still going around threatening Israel. They think the Houthi leadership sending a message saying we are no longer going to attack your ships and everything else, right? They think that's going to stop the Americans. Based on that, President Trump is right. He said, well, okay, we're going to take them as their word. As they said, if they are stopping, then we're going to stop, okay? What the idiots don't realize, the leadership of the Houthis, the rest of your minions are going around saying they're going to retaliate against Israel. Do you really think if the Houthis attack Israel, President Trump is just going to sit back and say, none of my business? No. President Trump is going to say attack. Destroy the Houthis, the remaining members of the Houthis. I don't think these idiots are thinking that there is no coordinated communication coming from Yemen right now. Everyone is saying different things. I'm going to show you these guys. The officials from the Houthis. Look at this one. He's so high on drugs. Like, I'm going to show you a few seconds of, this is a video that they just released, by the way, saying that they're going to continue the resistance to support Gaza, right? I don't think they got the message that they're not supposed to be saying this. But let's quickly go to Yemen. Look at these nutters. English subtitle.
هذا العدوان الغاشم الامريكي الاسرائيلي ابن اليهود لن يخيفنا ولن نرجع ولن نستسلم. والله كل ما ضرب ما زادنا الا قوه واستنفاع. ايش تحتفل المدنيين؟ واحرق السيارات حقنا في الخط العام. مدنيين كلهم مدنيين. ومحمد رسول الله. ثاني شب دمه ونت البحر احمر دم احمر. ولا يقولوا عضو ولا نشبع الا بدمائهم ونحسن بلادنا بجماجم المارد الامريكي ونطلب من القوى الصارفه عن تاتي ما فيه بقوتها الى اسرائيل ضربا عنيفا ومن اعتدى عليكم فاعتدوا عليه مثل ما اعتدى عليكم المدني بمدني والعسكري بعسكري والمنزل بالمنزل لن نكن ولن نبي لو كنا صواريخ لنتوجه الى اسرائيل. الله اكبر الموت لامريكا الموت لاسرائيل الله لن يخيفنا ولن يثنينا وكل ما ضرب ما زال الله قوه واستنفاع في وجه الطاغيه المستكبر وكل ما ضرب شبر واحد في ارض اليمن
كل ما يجتهد الطفل والشيب والمرء والكبر والصغير ولن يخيف أنا على الحمر ابن الحمر هذا ترم لا هو ولا حكى عسكر ولا طائرات ولا صواريخ ونطلب من القوات الصاروخية الليلة بالتصعيد يحرقوا تلعب بحريق تعويض المواطنين.
Breathe, darling, breathe. Just take. They are so high on drugs. Okay, the Houthis are what you get when you order your terrorists from a charity shop instead of getting it from a high-end retail outlet. You can't take them seriously. What? Somebody send him to Alan Snackbar. Now, obviously, the message they've sent in terms of surrendering, they say, we're not going to attack all the ships anymore, right? And then these nutters are saying, we will retaliate against the Jews. Yeah, President Trump is going to be fine with that, right? Of course he's going to be fine. Ivan in the super chat says, their bent rusty knives will not help now. I know, it's embarrassing. It's weird how all these propaganda posters and social media posts that they're doing, saying we're going to attack the Jews, they just keep posting pictures of knives. Stop with the knives. It's embarrassing. It's 2025. What? Just use something better. Terry says, Tusi, I hope your dad is okay. Yes, he's fine. He's still in the hospital. He's stuck in Iran, obviously. He's been held by the IRGC. But his second operation is going to be tomorrow. I'll keep you guys posted. So the reason I make fun of the Houthis for being high is because genuinely their drug addiction is a problem. It's a very specific problem for the Houthis in Yemen. Every time they want to hit Israel. In fact, the other day, when they managed to hit the airport in Tel Aviv, well, a grass patch on the ground next to the airport, that was impressive. I said, well done, not bad, well done Houthis. Because every time they tried to hit Israel, they either accidentally hit Egypt, or Saudi Arabia, or Jordan. Like, Israel is there. Just hit. Aim normally. You will get to it. Somehow they hit Saudi. And Egypt. They hit Egypt 3 times in the last few weeks. It's so embarrassing. See which I said. Update from India. Nationwide civil defense drills are planned for tomorrow. Indian defense minister assured again what the nation wants will happen. Of course, the Indians must defend themselves and their country against the nutters in the Pakistani government. Modi's government is under immense pressure to strike back hard. If they don't, then they can kiss every election goodbye. They would rather start World War III before that. It's a very sensitive situation for Modi's government, but let's not forget, with all the political pressure, Arvin says they are off their heads. It's embarrassing. The thing is, the whole world now knows that these guys are high. When you're doing an angry video, don't keep it in your mouth. They keep chewing on cat. Stop. Put it away. Press record. Film it. It takes 30 seconds. Stop recording. Put it back in your mouth. Just take a break for a second. It's not difficult. You're just giving us more excuses to laugh in your face. Now, let's get some non-super chats. Michael says, one back injury and you're investing in Ironman tech. Love you, praying for your papa. The thing is, I had to get these. We got the new wireless. It's wireless. It's also magnet. It's literally attached microphone. Because where's the other one? The podcast style microphone. I can't go down. That's what she said. I can't because my back is still literally killing me. It's a little bit better. I can move now. But yesterday was embarrassing. Yesterday I was like a robot. But now I'm more like Iron Man. But I prefer this actually. It's good. It's not bad. Although when I'm currently sitting on a big pillow and a cushion. That's why I'm a bit higher. If I go down, you're not going to be able to see it. But I'm still not as high as the Houthis. Julie says, how is your back and how is your father? Back is still here. I'm also high on drugs right now. A lot of painkillers. But yeah, father is fine. As I said, operation tomorrow. Going back to some super chats. And those beautiful, logically shouting Houthi people would have celebrated in BBC talk show and the Oxford Union debate. They have many friends in the UK. Oh, we should expect an emergency protest in central London any moment. with the far left and the Islamists saying, we are standing in solidarity with Yemen. They always say Yemen. They never say Houthis, by the way. They say Yemen. And then they bring the Yemeni flags, right? Obviously, it's going to be very difficult for them to actually understand what's going on. Jeff says, clickbait. Jeff believes what President Trump has also confirmed, which I showed you the actual official video from the White House, is clickbait. So Jeff is now accusing the White House of lying. I mean, the White House could be lying, obviously. But so let's just see what else we have. Yeah, I mean, the statement to surrender that we no longer want to fight has gone official to the Americans as well. That's why I showed you the video from the White House, to actually give you the evidence rather than me saying it. MT says, Wallahi, when will they learn? Ya Allah, Khalas. They will never learn. Let's see what else. Well, we have a troll. Abu Yam. Okay, something Musa. Maya, you are embarrassing yourself by lying to your viewers. Yemen did not surrender. Of course, Yemen did not surrender. The Houthis did. And they never will, you bastard. So the problem is, firstly, it's not Yemen. You got Yemen, you got the Houthis. These idiots, this Musa person, they believe the Houthis are Yemen. It's not. Secondly, it's not my fault that the leadership of the Houthis are sending a message saying we no longer want to fight, we surrender, and then the rest of the high nutters who are high on drugs are going around on the street saying we're going to retaliate against the Jews. And like, obviously you're still going to have a bunch of weirdos trying their best to launch a missile towards Israel. Again, they're going to hit Egypt probably anyway. But the rest of the leadership, they are terrified. Again, either they are terrified because they know what's happened when the Americans and the Israelis have been hitting them, or it's a fake surrender to send a wake-up call to the Islamic Republic saying, we need more help from Iran. That's basically it. Now, I don't believe that they are going to give up. You know, I don't care what they say. I have to report what they say. Well, no, I'm reporting what they say, that they're giving up. I don't think they're going to give up. They're still going to find a way to send missiles or whatever. The thing is, it doesn't matter whether they practically surrender or not, because they can't do anything. They are losing left, right, and center anyway. There's no point. Now, Philip says Musa equals Biden. Yeah, almost as clueless as Biden. Doug35 says, yes, the Houthis are a rebel group in Yemen. It's the media always saying Yemen. It's embarrassing that the media in the West are obviously creating a fake narrative that everybody in Yemen have been supporting the Houthis, and the Houthis are basically controlling the whole of Yemen. That makes no sense. They are very, very different groups. Now, there's been a massive shift since the conflict started, that is civil war, but we are where we are. Farah says, source. Watch the whole live stream. I can't be asked to explain to idiots. We showed you the actual official video from the White House inside the Oval Office with Mark Carney. You know the guy with the blonde hair? That's President Trump. He's in charge of the United States. He's also confirmed, obviously, the message has gone to the Americans. Yahya says, Houthis have stopped attacking ships to appease the Americans and want to focus only on Israel. Yeah, the thing is, it's not going to work. The message is going to be stupid. President Trump said, I'm going to take their word that they no longer want to attack, right? I know exactly what he's doing. He's going to say, they said they're not going to attack anybody. And President Trump also clarified, his problem is not just the Houthis attacking the Americans. He said, don't attack anybody. Stop being pirates. So he said, well done, Houthis. You've said you're going to stop fighting. So the Houthis are now saying we're going to hit the Israelis, right? Some of the weird ones who are high on drugs. Obviously, President Trump is going to say, well, they broke the agreement. Let's go destroy them. The Houthis are stupid. I mean, obviously it's a fake surrender. But they think they're going to get away with it. They think they can get President Trump to calm down because he's anti-war. But he's not anti-war in a sense that he will always be against, like, defending the interests of Americans or the allies of America. Yeah, the Israeli government also now saying that they have not been given prior notice of President Trump's announcement in the Oval Office to halt the strikes on the Houthis. Now, what President Trump said, I showed you the video compared to what the Israelis are saying. What President Trump said, because it was not an official written, so he was saying in front of the cameras. He said, the Houthis have told us that they no longer want to fight, so we are not going to hit them. We're not going to bomb them. But he basically said, as long as they don't attack. Now, the Israelis are saying, well, it seems like we've lost the support of the Americans. You haven't. That's not really what's happened. Obviously, if the Houthis decide to hit the Israelis, President Trump is going to go and defend them. Or at least give green light to the IDF to go and defend their country. We have a big, massive super chat from Paul. Thank you very much for your generous support, saying keep up the great work. MAGA. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Paul, again. If you want to support the channel, by the way, the best thing you can do is actually to join 2CTV Plus, our independent platform. You get access to all the documentaries and all the chat forum if you want to talk to me directly and like-minded people. Go on 2c.tv. The link is also in the description. Join us today and get access to all the premium shows. All right. They use religious strategy, not a proper war strategy from a legit government. Obviously, it won't work. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, one of the problems with groups that control a chunk of a land of a country. I mean, for example, Hezbollah in the southern parts of Lebanon, the Houthis in the southwest of Yemen, you don't have the full capability of actually attacking your enemies. You can't. You don't have a problem. Now, the Islamic Republic in Iran, oh yeah, they have capability of doing basic troublemaking because they control a whole country since they've been occupying Iran since 1979. No, they can't. They have access to everything. The Houthis don't have access to everything in Yemen. Hezbollah doesn't have access to everything in Lebanon. It's not a fair fight for them, basically. I think we have the latest. Let me just show you some of the videos that we are now, images that we're now getting from the airport in Sana'a in Yemen, because this is just showing that the level of chaos that's been caused over the last few hours by the Israeli Air Force. Planes, I mean, these were, by the way, empty planes because everybody evacuated. I'm just going to put them on the screen for you in a second. Everything has been completely destroyed now. There we go. So let's go to this one. Look at that. So the whole of airport, the main part of the airport, completely destroyed. You can see the planes, commercial and non-commercial, all of them completely annihilated. And this is what happens when the Islamists attack the Israelis without a proper plan. You created this. Now you have to deal with it. There is another super chat here. Boy, thank you very much, saying, looks like Iran can't hide anymore. Yeah, I mean, as both the Americans and the Israelis have now said again, that everything goes back to the head of the octopus, which is the Islamic Republic of Iran, and they must face the consequences. Now, first things first, I would like to see how many minutes or hours this surrender by the Houthis is going to last. I'll give about 6 hours, and then they're going now probably tomorrow morning they're probably going to send a missile to Israel, and then the Israelis are going to release a statement saying, despite what the Americans said, we are going to defend ourselves. And then President Trump has to come out and say, of course we support the Israelis if they want to defend themselves, and then we're going to go back to square one. You made your bed, now you sleep in it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I'm Maya Houthis, and we are the media.